Breaking right now, Revenge Part 2. Tom Bower, the legendary royal author, is sharpening his quill for a new edition of his book set to reveal huge secrets inside Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage. And this comes, by the way, just at the time that odd little bloke, Omid Scobie, who for many years has been the number one propagandist for the Sussexes, has announced that he's quitting writing Meghan hagiographies altogether. No more is he going to stand up for this woman. Instead, he's writing a fictitious story about life within the royal family. Now, of course, my mind does go to odd places there because I think, hang on a minute, every single thing he has written about Meghan and Harry has been a work of fiction. I'm going to get analysis from our royal mastermind, Angela Levin, in just one moment. But first, let me take you through what Tom Bower has revealed. He's told the Daily Mirror, "I've got a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants new insights. It's an amazing story. It's an eye-wateringly unique story because it's unprecedented. This is such a famous couple who are fighting for themselves all the time. They are relentless and restless, and that's what makes it so interesting. They have both been wounded, and what's fascinating about them is they don't stop fighting back, and the fight back is just as important as their survival. This battle for survival and the fight for revenge is increasing by the week. A lot of people were skeptical of the first book and couldn't quite believe it. Now more are converted to what I discovered then, and they'll be fascinated by what I've discovered now. So much has changed over the last 3 years, and so many new things have come out about them." He added, "They have a crisis. Meghan wants to be a billionaire celebrity, and Harry doesn't understand that world other than understanding that Meghan wants to be famous. He's spent his whole life never having a penny in his pocket. He's never regularly travelled on the tube, never had to worry about having a car or a job. So he doesn't understand where she's coming from, which is that she worked phenomenally hard, struggled hard, and was constantly humiliated and wants the security of finance and status. She hasn't got the status she craves. She hasn't got the pulling power. He's stuck in California clinging onto his royal status as she is. Harry's thinking is of reconciliation. That's just totally unrealistic. There is zero chance of reconciliation because there is irreconcilable anger on the part of William and Kate." Now, Angela Levin, we both know Tom Bower. He is a very thorough journalist. He has worked on a huge number of bombshell books about a huge number of major personalities. He does his research. He's been at the Invictus Games. He's been following Harry and Meghan around. I know for the first book, Revenge, and I'm very happy to say this, I spoke to him in some detail about what I knew, and I think that the book provided a lot of insight, actually, into the truth about Meghan Markle. Of course, we have been reporting the truth of these things for a long time too. But Harry and Meghan are going to be petrified about the idea of Tom Bower snooping back into their married life, right?
Tom Bower, one of the most feared royal biographers, is back and he's not pulling punches. According to him, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are fighting all the time. Not occasionally. Not now and then. All the time. He calls their life in California a constant battle for survival and revenge.
Yes, absolutely. There's a brilliant announcement by Tom about what he's going to say and what he's going to reveal. I mean, he's a brilliant writer, but he's also a brilliant advertising himself, and making you to want it and get it sorted before it's even anybody else can see it because it's not quite ready. I mean, he's really brilliant at that. I am very interested in all these things that he's going to show us, but also I want to know really about what happened to Meghan's mother. I mean, nobody's really talking about that. Meghan lived with her father most of her teenage years, and I'm just wondering, I thought Tom would do it in his last book, but he didn't, so that's obviously a very tricky one. But I hope that this one will come out with that, because I think it's a very, very important thing for us to know, because I think it made Meghan or it didn't make Meghan. It's very difficult for a teenager to cope with breaking up of a parent. And so I'm very interested in that. I'm also interested in the truth about the babies, the two children that we don't really know. So I think there's an awful lot to find out, and I hope that Tom does cover that, as well as them being in a crisis, which actually we can understand immediately, because their lives are dreadful, really. When you've got that revenge that you hang on to, no matter what else you do. And Meghan is so determined. You know, she's going back 5 years now, and she wants to get her own back. And it's going to be very difficult for her, but she's going to fight and fight and fight. And Harry is doing that as well. But he's made so many errors that I don't think he'll stand a chance.
And what's so interesting, Angela, is that Harry and Meghan are losing their allies in the media. So many people have turned now. I'm going to come to Tina Brown in just one moment. She's made a whole load of fascinating new claims, highly respected royal author too. And then we look at the guy who was totally disrespected, who had no respect because, unlike credible royal authors like yourself, Angela, he was prepared to be completely caught up by spin and by lies that was given to him by the Sussex squad, by Team Meghan, and by Meghan and Harry himself. And what's so interesting, just at a time that you thought Omid Scobie, or as Lady Colin Campbell calls him, Omid Scabies, this very odd-looking man. I mean, God, he spent too much time in Hollywood, Angela, because he is honestly reminding me of Michael Jackson these days. He really is. Very, very odd. Very odd what he's trying to do with his looks, given that he claims to be proudly mixed race, and yet he seems to be trying to adjust his appearance to appear more like a white man. Very odd man. And I've got some concerns actually about what's going on with him, Angela, up there, because, you know, he lies about his age and all of that type of stuff. So you can't believe a word that this guy says. But rather than write a new chapter in his Harry and Meghan trilogy, sort of like, oh, didn't they triumph in Hollywood? Didn't this all work out? He's walked away, Angela, because he knows that's just not a palatable story. His last book was a disastrous flop, Endgame, barely sold any copies. Yeah, he got media attention, but didn't sell anything, didn't sell anywhere near as much as one of your books, for example. And now he's given up on writing about the truth. He's actually going to be writing a fictitious tale of a handsome prince within the royal family. And how cringe is this, Angela? When the Daily Mail wrote a puff piece about this, talking about how he'd signed a 6-figure deal for this book, the guy actually posted on X saying it was actually 7, but who's counting? And I thought, you are so crass. You are so tacky. You're just like Meghan Markle. Nothing is about the truth. Nothing is about doing good work. Nothing is about credibility. It's all about the moolah, Angela. But it's interesting, isn't it, when you think Tom Bower's writing this new book, Scobie is not even trying to write a new book about Harry and Meghan because he knows it's just so bad.
Just let that sink in. These two didn't leave the monarchy for peace. They left for a new battlefield. Tom lays it out clearly. Meghan wants fame, power, billionaire status. Harry, he doesn't get it. He's used to having everything handed to him. No 9 to 5, no bills, no hustle. Meanwhile, Meghan's coming from the grind and she's tired of being sidelined in Hollywood. That gap, it's tearing them apart.
Yes, I think that he is also got a quite a lot of feeling of revenge because he was quite close to Meghan, wasn't he, for quite a long time, and they were near, and he would go and see her a lot and talk about it, and he was her voice, and he also knew when bang she didn't want to have anything more to do with him, so that was the end of that. So I think in a way he's much better off to try and find another area, and it's a co-author. He's got a
Oh
young
yeah, Angela,
author.
he's not writing it himself, is he? He can't
No,
write.
no. So he's got this person who's can actually make up story that it's not going to be the truth. It's just going to be a very interesting story, he hopes. And he's sort of there to look after it, and the two of them are going to work on it. And it'll probably a lot of people will buy it and read it, but we'll all be looking for the lines between the lines, and
Exactly.
see
He's
what the
just
hints are.
trading off the whole Meghan Markle thing. You're completely right.
Yes.
This is basically, oh, this is the stuff that Meghan told me, but I couldn't actually put in the book for legal reasons. It's going to be all of that. And can I just say, if you want true, real reporting with the exclusives that the Royal Rota won't touch, sign up to my Substack, www.outspoken.live. You get first access to our Royal Uncancelled after shows Monday to Friday, plus my whole catalogue of exclusives, and I would really appreciate it too. Angela, Tina Brown, very, very credible woman too, and she used to be pretty much team Meghan, right? Like, she was certainly not a hater from the early days. And she is considered highly credible. And there's been a brand new interview that she's given to Semaphore Media where she just talks about how badly it's all fallen apart for Meghan and Harry. I thought that was really smart and actually fair analysis from Tina Brown. Angela, did you?
Yes, I do. I mean, she said the things that work very well with her, that her clothing is very popular with other people, and they want to see it. They see her looking very nice in it, and so they want it too. But that's absolutely obvious that you can't do so many different things all at once and think you're getting on with them well, because you need to give attention to each thing that you want to do for quite a long time till you get it right. But she's got no patience. This is the whole thing, that she wants to do something and she cuts it off. She wants this friendship and then she cuts it off. She's very nervy. She's very lacking in confidence, actually. I think she's got this acting way of saying, nobody can make me upset. I'm so clever. I'm so good. Apart from her sort of, oh no, poor me. She changes her reality all the time. But nobody can do that, is it? If you think, how can you? It's just too demanding, and also you don't let people in to understand it and to build up. I mean, take for the jam, which has had lots of "this is disgusting" comments. But try and make it better. Build it up. If you've had only 50 people that you sent it out to, then see what they say, listen to them, and then build it up, make it a bit better. And that way you've really done something very good. But she's all edgy and nervy, and she must do this, she must do that. And she wants to be the most important woman in the world. And so this is how she does it, which is actually not going to get her anywhere, because she hasn't got the patience. And if you think you want to compare her to a very well-known woman, she can't do that, because she hasn't got the ability to listen and to be told what to do, and then enhance that by what you feel about it. But she won't listen how to do anything. She won't take advice. And so that's a very negative way of doing it. And I think that what you're saying now is absolutely right. Absolutely spot on. It's not spiteful. It's analysing it extremely well.
This is where it gets ice cold. Harry's still dreaming of reconciling with William. But according to Bauer, nope, not happening. There's irreconcilable anger from William and Kate. And honestly, can you blame them? Harry's burned every bridge with Netflix interviews, memoir drama, podcast digs, and private family moments aired to millions. And now he's clinging to the idea that they'll just move past it? Not a chance.
Yeah, indeed. And there was more from Tina Brown, actually, which I think is worth listening to. Angela, what she's saying there is completely true. And it's been true for years. And the problem is, Angela, that's why so many people have just given up now. Ari Emanuel at WME, for example. If you're not going to take my advice, then what's the point? What's the point? And she has lost great advisors. She even had great advisors during her time in the royal family. The problem is she didn't want to do what they told her to do.
Yeah. Well, she thought if she was going to work within a royal home, that she would actually decide how they should work, what they should do, and to put her in charge. What she doesn't want is to give. She wants to take so that she'll be older and better and everybody will think she's more and more wonderful. But it's not like that, is it? The people who are in the royal family at a high level give. They want to help people. But Meghan she's fed up with that, isn't she? She's not doing that anymore. So she's trying things that can't answer her back with jam. That it's actually very difficult for her to fit in. She's a troubled woman and she doesn't know how to manage things at all, at any level. I mean, all the rudeness that have been alleged about her dealing with staff is actually a dreadful thing, but she has to prove that she's very senior and high up in the royal ladder. So she has to shout and scream and make sure they know who they're dealing with. But actually, this doesn't work like that because, for example, all the staff and Buckingham Palace are very well looked after. It's a sort of family. They don't get so much money. They have to work hard, but they don't actually start shouting at each other or feeling that they are very useless.
Angela, we're just learning that the Prince of Wales, Prince William, is going to be attending the funeral of Pope Francis instead of His Majesty the King. Does that decision surprise you at all, Angela, given we know Charles, he literally moved his wedding date to Camilla in order to attend the funeral of Pope John Paul II, but he is undergoing this cancer treatment and he did just make that trip to Italy where he got to see Pope Francis weeks ago.
Yes.
People are waking up. And now it's not just the royals keeping their distance, it's the public too. This is huge. Omid Scobie, the guy who literally wrote Finding Freedom, the Sussex Bible, is done. He's out. Not just taking a break, not just laying low, he says he's done writing about Meghan and Harry entirely. Instead, he's writing fiction about the royal family. Which, as Dan Wooten savagely pointed out, isn't that far off from what he's been doing already. When even your most loyal defender jumps ship, that's not a red flag. That's a full-blown siren. This part hits hard. Meghan wants to be a billionaire. She wants status, recognition, deals, headlines. And what has she gotten instead? Cancelled Spotify deals, fading Netflix buzz, and now Scobie bailing out. Meanwhile, Harry is still clinging to his royal title like it's a VIP pass to Hollywood.
I think that meeting that he and Queen Camilla saw and talked to him is actually quite satisfying, that you were there. Thank goodness he agreed to see you. I think he would have been very upset if he couldn't see him. He was too ill at first, but then he obviously made time. And I think that has been satisfying for him. Whereas William is actually doing all these things now, going around the world and actually acting as the heir to the throne. And I think that he will behave brilliantly. He's very popular, he's charming, and he can go over there and then whiz back. And I think that is much more sensible. They are going off to celebrate their 14th wedding anniversary too, actually, which will be very nice for them. And they're going to Scotland, which is where they spent such a lot of time. And that will be very nice. And I think he won't mind at all. He's very good like that, and he's actually really fulfilling his position.
Quite a major moment for Prince William, Angela. I mean, this will, without any doubt, be the biggest diplomatic event of his life thus far. Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, has confirmed he is attending the funeral, and I believe Donald Trump has too. So it's going to be a big moment for William, and I think it will be very interesting to see if he takes Catherine, the Princess of Wales. I would imagine probably not, given that Starmer's wife, disappearing wife, Lady Victoria, is not going to be attending.
Yes, well, she's actually stepping further and further back, isn't she?
Big time.
She didn't want to get particularly involved. She's a nurse, and I think that less seen, the happier she is, I think. But I think Prince William is very popular with Trump, and he's going to be coming over at some point, I think just after the summer, Trump is. And I think he likes the family very much, and would take a lot off the king doing that. I don't think that means he's particularly ill now, because he did go there and they did have a talk. They both wished each other well. It's unfortunate that the Pope did die, but you have that feeling that you were there at an important time.
Yes, I mean, at this point, Angela, the royal family have not released any further details, or Kensington Palace have not released any further details. Again, and I don't, I'm not trying to be hysterical or anything like that, but I think this is now quite a sad changing of the guard, and it's certainly not what King Charles would have wanted this early in his reign. I'm pretty certain that if he were able to be at this funeral, if his doctors were prepared to allow him to go to Vatican City, he would go. What I would say, though, Angela, is that it's very sensible of him that he is clearly listening to the medical advice.
And his wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Bower puts it plainly. Harry doesn't understand Meghan's world. And Meghan is done waiting for him to catch up. That disconnect is going to be their downfall. He's not in the UK. He's not in the royal family. He's not even really in Hollywood. So, where is Harry? Lost. Is turning. And now Tom Bower's coming in with a sequel that promises even more shocking revelations. This isn't just a bad PR week. This is a full-on unraveling of the Sussex brand. And if Bower's track record is any indication, this is just the beginning. That's it for this breakdown, folks. If you think Harry and Meghan are headed for a total collapse, or you think this is all overblown, drop your take in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more no-nonsense reactions, and I'll see you in the next one.